Thank you. Thank you, Bianca. Okay, I have a lot to go over, so I'm going to get right to it. Thank you so much for being here to learn about the SAVE movement, whether you're just interested in what it means to bear witness, this type of activism, or if you're interested in organizing a group yourself. Okay, so what is the SAVE movement? This is our mission statement. The SAVE movement is comprised of groups around the world who bear witness of pigs, cows, chickens, and other farmed animals en route to slaughter. Our goals are to raise awareness about the plight of farmed animals, to help people become vegan, and to build a mass-based grassroots animal justice movement. Now, since the time of this mission statement, we have added fish to our circle of compassion, whether those fish are farmed, as in a farmed animal, or they're wild caught. The SAVE movement was co-founded by Anita Krajnc and her dog, Mr. Bean. Anita adopted Mr. Bean in 2010, and she found herself taking him out on walks. One day, she was near a stoplight, and there was a slaughter truck full of pigs stopped. She was close enough to where she could actually go and look inside, and she saw a bunch of scared pigs looking back at her. Anita has been a human rights activist for most of her life, and she actually taught at Queen's University. Her best course was social movement strategies and tactics. So when she saw these animals, who she saw no different than her own dog, she thought somebody should do something about this. And so Toronto Pig Save was essentially created in that moment. She made a promise to those pigs that she would start to do something to end the entire industry. Anita is also majorly influenced by Leo Tolstoy. Anita is actually quite a hothead normally. She gets very passionate, as you will see in this presentation. But reading Tolstoy on a daily basis helps keep her grounded. And it is also the foundation of the SAVE movement as far as the idea of what it is we do. So a quick introduction about me. Again, my name's Amy. I organize LA Animal Save. I was invited by Toronto Pig Save, the very first SAVE group, to come up and bear witness in 2015. They found me on Twitter because at that time I was just a social media activist, which is okay, but that's all that I was doing at the time. They had seen that I was a finalist on American Idol, a singing show, which has shows all over in lots of different countries around the world. But they thought, well, if we can get Amy to come up here and bear witness, maybe we'll bring some of the media out, because the more attention, the better. So I, of course, said yes. I had no idea what I was getting myself into or what it was going to be like to bear witness. So that happened in 2015, and then in 2016, I started LA Animal Save. And here's just a picture. This is Farmer John's slaughterhouse. This is a particularly awful slaughterhouse, only because they have murals painted outside on the walls of happy pigs, but really, really demented images of pigs in mud and pigs with little wings as they're flying off to heaven. It's very, very demented. But in LA, I also have some help. My partner, Sean Monson, the filmmaker behind Earthlings and Unity. We do the pig vigils together. We load up his truck every Sunday with 7 5-gallon jugs of water. We have over 50 water sprayers. Some of them are the 5-gallon backpack sprayers. Some of them are small hand pump sprayers, of which a bunch of them Joaquin Phoenix, the narrator of Earthlings, actually purchased for us. And since Sean also has contact with so many celebrities, he manages to get some of them to come down as well. And also in this photo is my co-organizer, best friend, Nikki. And she actually also runs the animal sanctuary that's at my house. And the other guy, that's Jermaine Jackson Jr. He's Michael Jackson's nephew, he's also a vegan. So a quick video on LA Animal Save with Anita and I, give you a little bit of a idea of us.
It's about the animals. It's about how do you get more people to vigils? How do you get everyone to vigils?
Yeah.
Everyone.
We need everybody.
Yeah, and LA Animal Save has the largest vigils at the moment, the weekly vigils in the whole SAFE movement.
Being able to bring this idea to people and bearing witness, and then getting them to at least do it one time changes them, and we're going to take over. Compassion will take over.
The Toronto Pig Save and Save movement, it just has a vision of doing it together as a collective. And that's what we do. We use a love-based approach, very inclusive, and that's how we've grown so fast. How does a group grow to, a movement grow to 150 groups within a few years? It's because of our approach. By the end of the year, we'll probably have hundreds of groups, and in 5 years, we'll have thousands.
We'll have as many groups as there are slaughterhouses. That's what will happen.
Which will be millions until they're shut down.
Yeah.
Okay, and to continue on with the videos, since we have Sean involved with us in LA, he has made some PSAs for the SAVE movement. So since pictures and video say 1,000 words, these are 4 short PSAs I want to show you to again give you an idea of what goes on at the vigils. People sometimes ask, well, are you actually able to save any animals? And in the case of chickens, a lot of times we are, as you saw from that video. One more.
We say to America is be true to what you said on paper. lived in China or even Russia, any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they hadn't committed themselves to that, over that. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest our rights. So just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing anything. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Okay, so the Toronto Pig Save was the first save group, and it started in Toronto with Anita at a slaughterhouse called Quality Meat Packers. So you can see in this picture, on the left there is actually a dog park. And on the right is a slaughterhouse. It's kind of hidden by the trees. And this is essentially in a very residential area. So Toronto Pig Save started holding 3 vigils a week at Quality Meat Packers in 2011. And here they are in another location called Pig Island, they called it, where they were engaging with the public to let them know, hey, there's a slaughterhouse right over here. You guys probably don't know. You've probably seen the trucks. Maybe you've not paid attention. But they would go on Pig Island and let people know there's a slaughterhouse in this area. And I guess I should have said I'm going to be showing quite a few videos in my presentation, but this one is too good because Quality Meat Packers went bankrupt in 2014. Yes.
So nice to stand here at this place. And by the way, Quality Meat Packers went bankrupt in 2014. So now we're Toronto Pig Save started here, but now it's an empty building. And no longer are there 1 million pigs killed here each year. I mean, there were 6,000 pigs a day. That was like 30 trucks. So now we go to Burlington because the pig slaughterhouse here is shut down. So
No more death here.
No more death here. Yeah, 1 million pigs died here a year. And this slaughterhouse was set up in the 1800s. And then in the 1930s, the Schwartz family bought it. It was a family-owned business, and David Schwartz, who was the last owner, was the 3rd generation owner, and then his kids didn't want part of it. So, it just shows you that the world is changing.
These people who have opened their eyes to the cruelty and the injustice, they're saying, I'm going to stop, and now I'm going to start to bear witness and speak out. And so the SAVE movement is global.
Okay, so Quality Meat Packers went bankrupt in 2014, and so Toronto Pig Save went to Fearman's Pork, which is in Burlington, about an hour away from Toronto. And everything kind of changed in 2015 when Anita was arrested. here she is with her two vegan lawyers, Gary Grill and James Silver. One day, a truck driver decided to get out and start yelling at Anita to stop giving water to the pigs. And he said if she didn't, he would call the police. So this was that pivotal moment that helped completely expand the SAVE movement and give it global awareness. And again, this is the clip of that day. It's just too good not to share.
Can you give this guy some water?
God, put water in there.
If you give him thirsty, if Jesus said, if you're thirsty, give them water.
No,
If you're homeless,
you know what? These are not humans, you dumb frickin' broad. Hello?
have some compassion.
You know what? Now we're gonna
have some compassion. Have some compassion. Have some compassion.
Let's call the cops.
Have some compassion.
What do
Call
we do?
Jesus. Call
911?
Jesus. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. What do you got in that water?
Water.
No. How do I know?
You can test it. I'll give you a sample.
Don't put it in there again.
If this pig's thirsty, they'll have water.
You do it again and I'll slap it out of your hands.
Go ahead. If you want to do assault charges, film this. If he wants to have assault charges,
Please.
go ahead.
So that was the moment the attention started to come Anita's way, thankfully so. And the trial went on for 2 years. Originally, she was facing 10 years in prison for criminal mischief. But luckily, most humans on this planet are born with a natural sense of compassion. And so to convict a woman for giving water to a thirsty pig in any context just doesn't sit right with most people. So she gained global support, including here PETA, that's Ingrid with Anita, and she was acquitted of all charges in May. So from that, helped explode the SAVE movement all over the world. We currently have over 200 groups. The reason we're here also at this animal rights conference is to start a group here or in any of the countries from the activists that we've spoken to while we're here. But these are just some of the groups. Like I said, there's over 200, so not enough to list them all. But we have Toronto Pig Save, Manchester Chicken Save, Melbourne Cow Save, Essex Pig Save, Irish Animal Save, Helsingborg Fish Save, Save Movement Sweden, Seattle Farmed Animal Save, organized by Chris Giovanetti, who, if you saw her climate vegan talk the first day, that's her group. Yokohama Animal Save in Japan, Hong Kong Pig Save, Durban Animal Save in South Africa, Save Movement Valparaiso in South America, and also Save Movement Bogota. So the Save Movement is love-based, and we're very big on community organizing. Most of the Save groups, all of them, are very independently run. We just ask a few things to stay in line with our code of conduct, our values of being love-based. And the goal is to have a group at every slaughterhouse, every auction house, every live market, every fishing pier, all of these places all over the world. So the idea is to have monthly or even weekly vigils, which means finding out when the animals are going to be delivered. You have to figure out that truck schedule and then be there when the trucks are coming. Find a way to stop the trucks for a few minutes so that you can bear witness to the animals. And especially with pigs will take water, as you saw earlier. You can spray it at them. And as soon as they realize, oh my God, that's water, they're going to start drinking just desperately. And so not so much with cows and chickens, but we do whatever we can to alleviate their suffering if that just means being there. Other things we do are all-day vigils, special events. We try and get as many celebrities to come down because we know that in the world today we're very celebrity-driven, and whatever brings more attention to coming down and bearing witness at slaughterhouses, we're trying to utilize all those different tools. We also do different types of vegan outreach, such as leafleting. We have virtual reality videos where we pay people to watch the video of slaughter. We have a thing called Vegan Batman Light, which was actually the brainchild of a girl who came down to a vigil in LA. And she was so moved by meeting the pigs that she thought, I have to do something more. What else can I do? What more can I do? And so she came up with this great idea of this really powerful 1,000-watt, 750-watt light on a tripod with these little messages that you insert in, and it projects it onto the slaughterhouse wall. She also takes it out into the city and finds blank walls, and she projects messages on there, and she engages in the public in that way. In America, it's perfectly legal to do because it's not permanent, it's not graffiti, and so she has to be very well educated on the law, because police officers will come down and just tell her she needs to stop, and she'll say, well, tell me what law I'm breaking, which is something good for all activists to be, up to date on, and what the laws are and what they are not. So we have our Vegan Batman Light. We have one in Los Angeles. We participate in marches, whether they're from another animal rights organization or one that we came up with ourselves. We do media campaigns, which can include putting up artwork on billboard space, subways, and newspaper advertisements. Social media is really important. Social media is our access to the world, except North Korea, unfortunately. So social media is very important, and I encourage everyone in this room, if you're so far have not wanted to join social media, you don't have to go out there as yourself per se. You can, have not your full information on there, who you are, but you need to be a presence on social media, talking to people, posting pictures and video and articles, and trying to engage with the world to teach them this truth about the animals. And then we also do potlucks, other social events not at slaughterhouses, going to animal sanctuaries and either just spending time with the animals or volunteering there. In LA, we go to the Gentle Barn, if anybody's ever heard of that sanctuary. We go there once a month, and we block out a little 2-hour time slot. So it's just 20 of us. So we do it every month because we're trying to get everybody. We have a lot of people that come in LA to our vigils, so we're trying to get everybody in. But that 20-person limit gives you access to just all the animals. You don't have to wait in line to hug a cow or cuddle a turkey. And it's a really great way to be in the presence of animals that you know are safe. It is important to note that what we do at the Save Movement are not protests. They're vigils. We are there for the animals and the animals only. Our primary reason for being there is bearing witness to them. We're there to see them as the individuals that they are. And secondary, share their stories on social media and talk to people about it. Protests are amazing and incredible, vital parts of this movement, but I just want to make that distinction for people who, you can engage in both. You can come to a Save Vigil and be there to bear witness, and then you can go to another group and do a protest. I highly recommend doing all of it as much as you can. So in this picture, we have the only truck driver so far that's really gotten aggressive with us in Los Angeles. He got out and started screaming, "Get off my truck, those are my pigs, that's $200,000 worth of money, or just like $200,000 of property, that's my property." And so he was screaming at us, and the gentleman facing him in the beanie, he was new. It was his first vigil with us, so he didn't quite understand that we don't return hate for hate, we return love, or at very best, not best, but if you can, neutrality for hate. So he started to engage with this man, and that's actually Joaquin Phoenix that has his hand on the guy's shoulder trying to calm the guy down. Joaquin is really big into nonviolence, of course, and he's been vegan since he was a baby. And he actually is the one who suggested that at every vigil we do 2 minutes of silence at the beginning, 2 minutes of silence for the pigs, since we can't actually save them. And it does help get everybody on the right energy frequency. It's a very calm environment. We tell people that while it's good to get documentation of ourselves crying and being affected by these individuals that we're not able to save. The crying and the moaning and the anger and the hatred and the desperation, that energy does no good for the animals. So we try and get them to hold on to that while the pigs are present in front of us, and just give the pigs love, or just be neutral while the pigs are there. And then as soon as the truck drives away, you can let it fly. So we do still get some general negative feedback from truck drivers, whether that's the middle finger or yelling "I love bacon." And luckily we don't have to deal a lot with the public in Los Angeles, but at all the other save groups where you're doing your vigil during the day and there's public driving by, a lot of people are going to yell "I love bacon," "eat meat," whatever. And so this is what we do. We just give them the peace sign and we let it roll off our back. We don't add to that intense anger. It does nothing to help in the moment and for why we are there. So what does it mean to bear witness? A lot of people think bearing witness doesn't do anything. You're not saving the animals, you're not stopping the trucks, you're not blowing up the slaughterhouse. Trust me, we want to do all of that. But this is one type of activism, and we need all of them. So where this bearing witness comes from is Leo Tolstoy. When the suffering of another creature causes you to feel pain, do not submit to the initial desire to flee from the suffering one, but on the contrary, come closer, as close as you can to him who suffers, and try to help him. So that's what we do. We're coming close. We know that's a slaughterhouse, so we know animals are going to be coming in. We don't usually get to go inside the slaughterhouse, so we're going to gather outside, and we're going to stop those trucks for a few minutes so that we can come as close as we can, and we see the individuals for who they are. Martin Luther King Jr. also said we present our bodies as personal witness. And then beyond that, another quote from Tolstoy, one who knows the truth must bear witness of the truth to those who do not. Now, we all know how hard it is to get people to watch footage of slaughter. And we're finding it's even hard to get people to watch footage of animals on a truck. They know it's wrong, but it's our obligation to share that with them. What we've also found with bearing witness is that you bring a non-vegan down to a slaughterhouse at a time when the trucks are coming and they meet those individuals and they see them, and the pigs or the cows or the chickens look back at them, or even better, that non-vegan hands that animal some water and they see how thirsty the animal is and how desperate for water they are. That will change a person. That will change a non-vegan into a vegan most of the time, and I see it every Sunday in Los Angeles. What we're also finding is that bringing a vegan down to bear witness at a slaughterhouse turns that vegan into an activist, and we all know how many activists we have. It's not enough. We need more. Lots more. So bearing witness, it will turn a non-vegan into a vegan, but that's not as much the case. What happens more often is it turns vegans into activists. It reminds them, oh yeah, I'm fighting for actual non-human persons that are in this moment living a life of misery and about to die a violent death. So that's why I believe it's very important to bear witness at least one time, because I can't share the experience with you as much as I'm going to try with the videos and my words. I can't give you the experience of you yourself meeting an animal and not being able to save them, and how that's going to change you. Okay, so at my group, LA Animal Save, we are the largest save group of the 200 that exists right now, and that just is because it's Los Angeles and there's already a ton of activists there. They were just ready and waiting for this kind of action to participate in. We do 2 vigils every week. They both are on Sunday, one at Farmer John, a pig slaughterhouse. They kill about 6,000 pigs a day. And another at a cow slaughterhouse. And they kill around 300 animals a day. We do other vigils at other places during the month. There's 2 different chicken slaughterhouses in the area. And also there's tons of live markets. So we do that as well. we hold a monthly free movie night at a vegan restaurant called Olak. Olak is, the chef there is Chef Ito. He's actually taken a vow of silence. It's been 20 years now. And he comes down every Sunday night because it's like 2 miles from his restaurant, the slaughterhouse that we're at. And he takes photos, and then he sends them all to me like within hours every Sunday. And you'll see a lot of these photos coming up next. And there's a little icon of the emoji with the zipper, and it's Chef Ito because he doesn't talk. We also, like I said, do that monthly private tour at the Gentle Barn to try and recharge our batteries and remind us that one day this will be the reality, that we'll be around animals that are safe and, for the most part, free. We do the virtual reality outreach, and we have quite a few celebrity guests at our vigils, thanks to Sean. And we actually have amazing relationships with the police and the slaughterhouse workers. So much so that at the cow slaughterhouse, we have access to the kill floor. Now, this relationship that we have with the police and with the workers comes from, in my opinion, the research that I've done, the things that I've learned about human communication from a woman named Alison Armstrong. There are things that we are pre-designed with, the way we talk and the way we listen and why. And once you learn more about that, you're more effective at communication. Just the smallest thing can really create like a really empowering interaction instead of like, that was an okay conversation, or I'm not sure if he really heard me, and God, I feel like he just, wasn't listening to me, or it all becomes very empowering since then, and I give her all the credit for why I've been able to get the police to help us in stopping the trucks, and why this particular security guard brings us in every Sunday after our vigils. For anybody who wants to take a tour of the whole slaughterhouse, he'll take us in there. They're not operating at that time, but he'll take vigil goers on a tour of the entire slaughterhouse every Sunday, anytime they want, really. This is actually a picture of just not even 2 weeks ago when we did our first time bearing witness on the kill floor. This is a cow slaughterhouse, and they do kosher slaughtering and conventional, but that day was kosher. I'm sure everybody knows what that means, but just in case you don't, kosher means there's no bullet gun to the head before slicing the throat. So kosher is animal is 100% conscious, and there's a rabbi there who has to cut his throat. So needless to say, it was absolutely horrific, but here we have Sean on the right, and that's Kat Bondi. Simone Reyes, she's also an amazing activist and assistant to Russell Simmons, his driver in the back. And then me, that's Alec. He's Sean's producing partner for the Unity movie, and then again, Jermaine Jackson Jr. And this is a photo of how happy the slaughterhouse employees were that we came and had celebrities with us to take a tour. Yeah, it was really weird, and I was just like, and then we talked to the veterinarian on site, because this particular slaughterhouse they think, oh, we do everything by the book. We have a USDA inspector on site. Come on in and see how we do it, because we're doing it right. So the veterinarian was just talking about how she herself is a vegetarian, but, she comes in and makes sure all the cows are healthy, and, and then she's like, have fun. Like, what? Like, the disconnect. You guys know this. The disconnect is so deep. Anyway, so that was quite an experience, and they'll let us come back and keep bearing witness on the kill floor, and so we're just going to keep doing that. So now just a few pictures of our vigils. You can see in this photo the water sprayers. We have lots of backpack sprayers to be able to reach the pigs on the top level, as you can see. Now, this is a photo of that man. He's an Oscar-winning producer of the film 12 Years a Slave. Him and his family decided to try vegan after watching What the Health. and he's good friends with Joaquin. So Joaquin invited Sean and I over to meet them one day, and Sean invited them to a vigil. He brought his wife and 4 children. Now, our vigils start at midnight on Sunday, but they came down because they were interested enough because of the health aspect that they were willing to experience this and bear witness, which is just, I think, amazing. That's Sean and John Pierre. If anybody's seen Eating You Alive, it's another health documentary that came out, and then there was some problems, and it's going to come out again. He's a personal trainer and also has an animal sanctuary in Colorado. Great guy. Tony Canal from No Doubt. We also get organizers from other saves that get to come through LA since it is kind of a vacation city. So that's Jocelyn of Portland Animal Save. Here we have Dr. Marilyn Kroplik of In Defense of Animals. If you've ever heard of that organization, she came down to bear witness. Here's a pic of when Kat Bundy came down to bear witness, and next to her is actually Sean's daughter, who's been vegan since birth. She's 16. She comes to our vigils. She's amazing. And then the guy on the left is actually Constantine. If you've seen anybody wear a Vegan Club t-shirt where it says Vegan Club on the bottom and there's a face silhouette of, Joaquin or some other vegan like Tony, he's the artist behind that artwork. And I'm also just going to sprinkle in some pictures of the babies that we see. There's Joaquin and his girlfriend Rooney Mara giving water. And we're in Los Angeles, but we get pigs all the way from Iowa, which is just insane. And you know how far away they've come just from how dirty they are, how much feces and urine they're covered with when the truck rolls up. This is from our free monthly movie night where we screened Earthlings, and I'm just so proud of all these people who came out, even though Earthlings is so hard to watch. We had a packed house that night. And now what we've started doing, this is again at Olak Restaurant where we do the screening. They do a pre-vigil dinner before the pig vigils every Sunday night. It's another way of building community. That's me and my co-organizer, Nikki, and then Abby from Toronto, who was in town for a little while. She came down to the vigil. And in the back, you can see our vegan Batman light. Farmer John's kills 6,000 pigs 5 days a week. They don't want to die. Stop cruelty, go vegan. In this picture, you can see the profile guy on the right. That's John Oberg. He's from the Humane League. And then this woman in the front, DeMarco, she was on Baywatch. She comes down. She was not vegan, came to our vigils, went vegan, and that's Sean and I. And then the woman second from the left is Alexandra Paul. She's also a great animal rights activist and vegan. She's also from Baywatch. We do get lots of kids that come to our vigils. So people want to know how young, is there an age, minimum limit? And there isn't. Most of the time at these vigils, you're not going to see any actual blood. You're just going to see pigs. So we get lots of young kids coming down with their families. That's actually my godson, Finn, who's been vegan since birth. He's 7 years old. Great activist. And here we have Sean with Jason Roble, who's a vegan chef. He does lots of talks and cooking demonstrations. So we get even the health food vegans to come down and bear witness. And next to him is Whitney, a eco-vegan gal. This is, for those of you who don't know, the guy on the left is Mark Ching. He goes over to Asia and rescues dogs from the dog meat industry. This is Corporal Encinas. He was our very first police officer when we started doing vigils last December. And he's the reason why we were allowed to step off of the sidewalk into the street and actually approach the trucks. He has since gone vegan, and his whole family has gone vegan. It's been 2 months. Yeah. He sends me pictures of the meals that they make. He just bought a shirt that said no meat, no dairy, no problem, or whatever that one is. Yeah, he's awesome. Here we've got Gene Bauer of Farm Sanctuary with Kat Von D and Wayne Chung of DXE. we get just some fabulously amazing photos of these babies. And even though they're sad to look at least we have them. You know, they were an individual, and we have evidence of that they were here for a brief time. Here's Sean with Damien Mander. I have so much admiration for Damien. He founded the International Anti-Poaching Foundation. He did 12 tours during the war in Afghanistan as a military sniper. He went vegan partly because he watched Earthlings, and he literally gets to shoot people. He gets to kill poachers. It's legal down in South Africa. They are the last line of defense between the rhino and the elephant and the poachers, so he literally gets to kill people, but he's amazing. Here's Sean giving a talk. If any of you have ever heard him talk, he's just wonderful. And then this woman in the foreground is Jane Velez Mitchell, who again is a journalist. She's been covering animal stories for a long time and fought to get those stories on CNN when she was working for them. And here we have the Vegan Bros on either side of Toby Morse, who's a punk rock music industry guy, awesome vegan. And we have Joanne MacArthur of We Animals. Sorry, yeah, Joanne. She's awesome. I love her. Almost done. So this is a picture because a couple of Sundays ago, our format at Farmer John slightly changed. And so this can happen doing a save group. You can be doing it one way, and then some other law enforcement person comes in and said, no, we're going to do it a different way. And this was actually to our benefit. You can see that we're actually standing across the open gate. Now, before we were relying on the police officers to stop the trucks because they had been doing it so graciously from the beginning. But at one vigil recently, we had a girl try to stop the truck herself, and she stood in front of the truck, turned her back, and it kind of bumped her, the truck. So now we actually have been empowered to stop the trucks ourselves, but just by standing on the sidewalk in front of the gate, which is amazing. And then the police say that they're legally obligated to give us a reasonable amount of time to demonstrate, and they give us access to both sides of the truck. It's absolutely fantastic. And then here is a picture of Joaquin and Rooney Mara and me and Mira and Sean. If you guys want to start a save group, we'll help you. We've got an awesome Facebook community for support to give you all of our different experiences all around the planet. We will help you with recon, with the initial posters you want to make, your logo, the social media accounts. We will do all of that for you and assist you. So my question to you guys now is, I was going to share a 7-minute episode from the Earthlings anthology series that actually is about LA Animal Save. Would you rather see that, or would you rather do a Q&A? Okay, Q&A. If you guys want to watch the film, actually, you can, or the web episode, you can come to me at the booth that we have, and I can show it to you on my computer. Yeah, Paula got to see it. We did show it at the Animal Rights Conference in D.C. It is amazing because Sean's so freaking talented. So so I can show it to you at the booth. But for now, I guess I'll open it up to questions.
Okay. Does anyone have a question?
Thank you for your talk. I run a save in the UK, and I'm really keen to attract non-vegans to vigils, but I don't know where to start. Can you advise, please?
To how to get non-vegans to the vigils?
Yeah.
It's tricky. There's a lot of different angles you can take. You know, if they say, well, you know, I eat meat because I think the animals are treated well before they're killed. You can say, well, let me just show you this. You can see it in real life, the way they look, you know, on right before they're slaughtered, so you can see for yourself. So maybe you can see them, and then you'll feel, okay, yeah, I still eat meat because, look, they look great, and they're happy, you know? So there's that way. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. So I would just try a few different ones. You know, if you know somebody's interested in health, you can say, well, we see animals that have little tumors on their body, or a lot of them are already dead, and that's because they're not physically healthy enough to just make the transport. So how can their bodies be a healthy thing to consume? Yeah.
That's your question.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, it seems like you have a lot of trucks coming at the LA one, but I've been to quite a few different ones around UK and Holland, and sometimes you will only get one truck, sometimes even no trucks at all, but I think it's still very important that we show up, and sometimes they will hold back the trucks and they will cancel and close the slaughterhouse for that day, and that is really important thing, because then actually it's close the slaughterhouse for that day, so it's still a win. So I just want to say that to everyone who wants to start a safe group. If they experience that the first time it doesn't come any trucks or anything, it is still a win, and it's still a really good thing that we're doing.
Yeah, it is harder to get people to come out when the rumor is that you may not see a truck, or maybe only one truck, but somebody still has to be there. We still have to be there. Just because us being there, even if it's just one person, we're one person that's there for the animals that are in that building. To have no one there for them is way more of a traumatic idea. So I would encourage you to stay strong, and even if you're dealing with a slaughterhouse who hides the trucks, delays the trucks, or they just shut down work for that day, all of those things are progress in different ways, and so just keep going. We actually have that problem at the cow slaughterhouse, since they only do 300 animals a day. It's harder to figure out when the trucks are coming, because there's only like 5 trucks that come each day. And so I think sometimes they might delay them, but we're still there. We're not going to not be there. I don't. If it's just me, we're still going to be there. Oh, thanks.
Thank you so much. Great inspiration. And like you were saying, with even if one person just shows up, I forgot to say it when I was up there, but what happened with the Slaughterhouse's Facebook page that I sort of put on blast with my video, that Toronto Pig Safe helped me to reach so many people, because I couldn't do that by myself. I didn't have that reach. People who weren't even vegan, who just saw the way that the animals, the pigs were stuffed into the truck, and the disfigurement of some of their bodies and things that had already happened to them before they got to slaughter. They went to the Facebook page of the slaughterhouse and they started giving them such bad reviews. And I know a slaughterhouse with reviews. Why? But
you'd be surprised.
Yeah,
Lots of
exactly.
good reviews.
I had that question yesterday. Someone said, "What do you mean it had a review section?" I said, "Yeah, it had a review section. It had people who were like, 'This is such a great place to work,' and stuff like that." And so it started getting so many negative reviews from people who weren't even vegan, but just saw the video and said, "I can't believe you allow these animals to be in this condition before you kill them." And then they deleted their entire review section, which some people might say was a negative thing because we can't put our messages there anymore, but it was a positive thing because that slaughterhouse is now getting the message that people are not happy with the things that they're doing and the conditions that these animals are in before they're slaughtered. So even non-vegans alike are getting on board with the fact that they don't like what they're seeing in these trucks. And it's such a powerful movement. And I hope to also get a Germany cow save one on board, because I see cow slaughterhouse trucks go the other way down the Autobahn, and I just have to stalk them, and I will. And I'm going to find out where that slaughterhouse is, but it's such a great movement, and it really does impact so many people, and the slaughterhouse workers themselves, and the slaughterhouses themselves. So thank you.
Thank you. This is Tina. She's in Germany. For anybody that's in Germany, can talk to Tina and find out about the new Save group there. I know it's not, Germany's a big place, so it would be good to make contact with her so she can tell you how it's going for her group, and that will help you, with your group if you decide to start one.
Okay, so I think we have time for one short last question, if anyone else has a question. What? Oh, you do?
I was just wondering about when you're standing in the way for the trucks, do they always stop? Or because when we in Sweden, we were having a blockade outside a slaughterhouse, and the truck wouldn't stop just by us standing there. So one of us, the bravest of us, she was just sitting down, and then he had to stop. But how does it look like most of the time where you are?
We have two advantages. One, again, an insanely great relationship with the police. They can't technically be there for us. They have to be there to keep the peace, but they like us and they really want to help us exercise our right to protest and demonstrate even though it's a vigil. So we have that on our side. So I highly, highly recommend learning more about communication, human communication from this woman, Alison Armstrong. 2, we have an advantage in numbers. The truck's not going to go when there's 30 people standing in line and he sees 40 or 50 more waiting with their water. Like he's going to, okay, I got to stop. There's so many people. But even when you're small in number, if you have a legal right to be standing, say it's like a sidewalk that goes across the gate, just do what you can to stand there and you know, be brave, but if he's not moving, if he's not stopping or slowing down, you know, be very careful. It would be really bad if somebody got hurt. But see if you can just get more people. That would be a way to say, you know, if you have any really big friends, like big bodybuilder friends that aren't even vegan, you can go to them and say, you know, I really need your help. You don't have to look at the animals. You don't have to go vegan. You know, that's not what I'm asking you in this moment, although I would love if you did that. Be there for us because we need your help stopping these trucks. We need big people.
We need your body.
Yes.
Cool. Nice.
Oh,
All right.
Do we have time? No?
Is it a short question?
Short question?
Okay.
Thank you for the talk. I wanted to add just a comment. I went only to one vigil in Guildford, if I remember correctly, and I think one of the truck drivers, he stressed the animals even more, because what he was doing, he was going forward and backward like 2 or 3 times, so the animals started screaming even more. And how you said you cannot show the experience which you have because you cannot show it on the films. That's true, because it's not just what we see, it's what we smell, what we hear, and everything together. So just why? How would you do it so you don't stress the animals more? Because I've noticed your vigils are at night, and probably you have to use flashes. Don't the flashes stress the animals even more?
What we do is we have camera lights and we slide it in through the holes a little bit above and we turn them so they're shining on the ceiling. So it's a gentle illumination of the inside of the truck. Also, sometimes when the trucks roll up, all the pigs are sleeping. And so I get on people about this. I say, if those pigs are sleeping, do not just start spraying water at them. Look for a snout and be gentle if they're sleeping. Very gentle, just start giving them a little bit of water. Either way, we are going to startle them sometimes. Either way, we're still going to have truck drivers that like to go back and forth. Not so much in LA because the cops are there and they have to be on better behavior, which is why I really suggest having as best a relationship you can with the police. That's going to happen. It is not a good enough reason to stop. We're going to be doing way more good than the startling that we are going to do to some of the pigs and the aggression response from some of the truck drivers. That is not a good enough reason to stop. We have to continue, keep our energy calm, neutral. There's people, sometimes, a couple of times this girl would walk back and forth and just be like, this is so fucked up and just blah, 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 look at how they're, and I have to pull the girl away and be like, you need to calm down. This doesn't help the pigs. So you have to be quiet. If you can't not be angry, you can't come to the vigil. Go do something else where your anger is an outlet somehow, but not at vigils. So it's never gonna be perfect. It's never gonna be exactly how you want it to be, because if it was, we wouldn't be there in the first place, So these things that happen that aren't the best, startled pigs, scared pigs, even when people try to pet them, the pigs are like, it's like, hello? They've never been pet before. You want to be like, I love you, but they've never been pet before, so it's scary. Put yourself in their place. So it's still even some education of the people that are at the vigils that are there with all the good intentions. So all of that is just, those are things that we have to deal with along the way, but we have to keep doing it. Overall, the benefit is way outweighs the negative. Oh, Alison Armstrong. I would start with her book. It's called The Queen's Code. The Queen's Code. Now, just a disclaimer. It's very kind of foofy and pink, and it's sort of geared towards women. But I tell you that the information in the book and in her webinars, it's no bullshit. It is serious, serious shit. And I say this to people, that the first thing I tell people when I talk to them, I tell them about veganism, because veganism is liberation for animals. The second thing I talk to them about is Allison, because Allison's information is liberation for people. We get to see each other for who we really are, and we get to appreciate and admire and new ways to love, respect, and empower. So the book is pink, and it's kind of written like a romance novel because most of her clientele are women, and there's also reasons for that. And if you guys want to learn more about that, I love talking about it, so find me at the booth, and I'll talk more about that.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
Thank you.